Hi, this is James Gordon Torlay here with the third book in the Dark Tower series. The book I will be talking about today, The Wastelands. Alright, this is from Plume Books, and this was published in... This first published in 1991. This edition is 1992. This was actually surprisingly a decent read. We're starting to get a little better now in this series. I was not sure if this book was going to be getting better or was it going to get any worse, but this actually turned out to be a decent read. It's a bit of a slow burn to get through, but once the story gets going, it starts to get better. It begins to feel more like a fantasy book, and Kane makes many improvements to this series. He fleshes out the characters. He gives them a little backstory, a little more detail about the characters. He puts more effort into making this feel like a fantasy book, as I said, and the writing structure in detail is also improved a lot. Like, I can now understand what is going on in this story. He's describing the world which much more with more richer detail, which really helps reading this book. And there was a lot of parts actually. There was scenes I liked in this book, some good action set pieces too, and the finale did have me on the edge of my seat, so I really enjoyed that. There were some things I didn't like with it, but overall this was actually a decent read. So this series is starting to get better, so I'm hoping that the later books would also get better as well. Alright, on to the book review. Plot. Set 5 weeks after the events of Drawn 3, Roland, Eddie, and Odetta, who now goes by Susanna after Roland prevented her two personalities from existing, they have lived in the forest of Outworld after leaving the western shore. While Roland is watching Susanna target practice while Eddie is out getting firewood, they suddenly hear something large and loud moving through the forest, causing trees to come crashing down. They see a large bear, however Roland knows what it really is, a guardian. It tries to kill Eddie as he climbs up a tree and fires off a shot, but his bullet has no effect on the large bear. Roland and Susanna saw the bear trying to reach Eddie as it's getting closer. They also see a radar dish sticking out of its head. Unable to shoot where he's standing, Susanna has to take the shot. She is able to distract the bear as it comes charging at them. Aiming quickly, Susanna caps off two shots hitting the radar dish, causing the bear to crash down into the ground it as it growls turn into noises while yellow foam begins oozing out of its mouth. Eddie climbs down and uses a knife to cut away at the bear's leg, revealing a tag stating the bear is a cyborg and its product name was Shardik. The strange machine also has worms crawling out of it. Roland fears they're in danger and tells the others they must leave at once. After leaving the area, Roland believes he is slowly losing his sanity as the memories of Jake are haunting him after altering the events of saving his life when he entered through the portal to New York City. By doing this, Jake never appeared in the way station as it's causing a ripple in time. Roland explains in further detail how these portals work to both Eddie and Suzanne along with his world. After drawing a bunch of images in the sand, then discarding the jawbone into the fire, it makes a horrible noise that causes Eddie and Susanna to cover their ears, but it melts into the shape of a key. Roland believes this is a sign of what he must do to reach the Dark Tower by finding a key back into Jake's world. Meanwhile, Jake Chambers, 11-year-old boy, is under pressure to earn high grades while at Piper's school to please his uptight, abusive father. However, he has memories of Roland along with the other world he entered and even his own death. He tries convincing himself these memories aren't real until he sees the same blue Cadillac that ran him over. Jake has a breakdown realizing these past memories are true and is trying to find Roland. As days go by, Jake begins to notice things are changing around him and sees riddles in advertisement along with a quote he's been seeing and hearing lately, Charlie Choo Choo. He visits a bookstore when he notices the titles of well-known bestsellers are off. He buys two books and the store owner name is Tower. Jake believes he's getting closer to finding out where Roland is. He then visits an abandoned area and finds a key. However, upon returning home, his father is outraged that he is late and sees he has taken powder. He's given a beating but is saved from his mother, but she too is beaten. Eddie reveals to Roland he's been having dreams about Jake and believes he is searching for him. They also find a key is changing along with seeing things from Jake's world as the two realities are starting to come together. Roland believes they'll find the door allowing Jake back into their world as Jake continues searching for clues to find the door that will take him to Midworld. Jake sneaks out of his parents' apartment and takes the subway train to Brooklyn, believes that where he'll find the door to Midworld. At the same time, both Roland, Eddie, and Susanna see the land around them is changing with familiar signs and other things from New York. They know they are getting close now. Jake then finds two boys playing close by to a movie theater which features a poster for a Clint Eastwood Western movie. The two boys are Eddie and Henry. Jake knows he's getting close to Roland and asks them if they know where a haunted place is. The two take him to an abandoned house that's rumored to be haunted. Once inside the mansion, the two boys leave as Jake suddenly finds the mansion comes to life and tries to eat him. Jake is hanging on to the door as he tries opening it with the key. Eddie is able to use the key to open the door, and with Roland's help, the two pull Jake into their world and close the door as the mansion yells in anger. The doorway then disappears as Jake forgives Roland for abandoning him. Roland swears he won't let anything happen to him again. After traveling for a few days, Jake befriends a Billy Bumbler creature that's a mixture of a badger, raccoon, dog, and acts like a parrot. Jake names it Oi as it follows him. The group reaches an abandoned town of River Crossing and find a few of its old residents living there and are suffering from a terrible sickness. After eating and drinking coffee, the residents give Roland advice for his journey to the Dark Tower by going to the Wastelands, where they'll find a train that will take them where they want to go, but warn that nobody has ever returned from the Wastelands. Roland thanks for the help, and the group sets off for the Wastelands. However, while crossing a decaying bridge, a mutant man Gasser takes Jake hostage by holding a hand grenade, threatening to blow them up. Roland is forced to let Gasser take Jake, but he and the others follow after him, which leads them entering the sewer system under the city. With the aid of Oi, they travel through the labyrinth to rescue Jake. At the same time, Eddie and Susanna find a computer that's controlled by a powerful yet psychopathic AI, Blaine the Mono, who's hell-bent on destroying the city unless they give him riddles to solve. It's a race against time. The Wastelands was a decent entry in the series. The writing structure, pacing, characters, and detail has improved a lot from the previous two novels. While slow at times, but felt the story was being told a lot better, explaining more of what's going on within the world of the Wastelands, and this feels more like a fantasy story with very little references to pop culture. The characters were better crafted and fleshed out, along with making some of them more likable this time. King also adds a little backstory to each character as well. The detail was very good. I was able to understand where the characters were going, the world around them, along with scenes I really enjoyed, and there was a lot of locations and action set pieces I really liked too. I also like the fact there's more creatures in the story, with some are cute, others are downright terrifying. Oi has to be one of the cutest creatures I ever read and was on edge towards the end of the story, hoping nothing bad would happen to it. While there were a few moments where the characters talk about strange subjects and riddles that I quite didn't understand, along with a few scenes I didn't like, but this time I was able to enjoy the Wastelands without feeling bored. However, I felt at times the characters would talk a little too much at times. Overall, this was a decent read. Maybe you'll like the Wastelands, maybe you won't. I leave this one up to you if you're interested in reading it or not. Some might like it, others might not. However, you have to read the previous two novels to know what's going on. So choose wisely if you want to give this series a try. And that's the review today. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, this time I was able to enjoy the third book in the series. It was a decent read. It's definitely a lot better than the previous two novels. This time the characters, when they're going somewhere, it's always a different place. It's not going down like an endless beach just waiting for a door to appear, or traveling like a barren wasteland desert just for something else to appear. Like this time it feels like a real adventure. The characters are exploring, they're going to different places, and each time it's different. That's what I want. And King improves the characters. He makes them more likable. He fleshes the characters out along with some others. There are some other characters I liked and some other characters I didn't like. Actually, the one scene I was reading, like where Jake gets kidnapped, I was like, really, you're gonna add this into the story now after all they've been through already? But it turned out to be a really good scene, and it definitely made up for it, which I really enjoyed. And what else? there's definitely some better action in it. There is one thing I wish King would do in this book. It's like in the beginning of the book, in the story, the characters all have guns. It's like where are they getting these guns from? Is there, I guess they visit like a gun store or something. But I kind of wish King would show that because these characters have like guns, and it's like it never explains where they get the guns from or the ammo from. So that was just one thing I kind of wish the King could have had, like maybe like a traveling merchant appears and they buy weapons and ammo from him, or visit like a store or something. But that was just the one thing I felt that could have been added to the book. I'm trying to think what else. The scenery was very beautiful. Like there's a lot of scenes I really liked in the story that King describes that I really liked, both in the fantasy world and in Jake's world too as well. Like some really good scenery and scenes I liked, and but the whole time I just enjoyed this book. It's definitely King was taking his time. He wasn't in a rush. He just wanted tell the story, and he did a good job on that. So and the ending, the finale was good too, which I enjoyed. I think my only complaint to the book was that there were a few parts I didn't like when sometimes the characters would start talking about riddles and other subjects. And I was trying to think, what the hell are they talking about? I couldn't kind of grasp what they were, just like discussing about. And then, um, but I feel that one thing that some of the characters do talk a little too much. Like there's scenes where I felt characters were just talking like way too much. I feel King could have cut down some of the conversations and just focused more on telling the story and adding some more action set pieces and stuff. Um, yeah, the ending had me on edge, and just seeing Jake being beaten, like getting forced into this like sewer system, being like pushed around by this gasser guy was just really making my blood boil. I thought I want something to happen to this guy, and sure enough, I'm not going to give away, but Gasser and a few others get what's coming to him, and I thought that made that scene a lot better. I think another complaint I have with this book is that it's got illustrations in this book, but it shows scenes that don't even happen yet. So I kind of wish that the illustrations would be like like right as the scene is happening, so that it ties in with the story. Because there is a part that happens, and I was like, wait, why did the story show this scene? And then when I got towards the scene where Jake gets kidnapped by Gasser, and he's holding with a hand grenade, it shows it like very early in the book. I'm like, wait, where is this scene? And then when I got to, it's like, oh, it's that part. And then there's another part where it just shows Roland shooting his gun. I thought, wait, why is he shooting his gun when Jake's trying to start a fire? That's later on the book. So that's my only complaint, is that I felt the illustration scenes just, they show them like way too soon. Like the first one with the bear happens like right in the story, so that is correct. Along with Roland helping Susanna get advantage to shoot the bear, so that scene was correct as well. But just the other scenes they weren't placed properly, so that was another complaint I have with this book. Maybe later editions fix that, but overall, this was actually a decent read. I enjoyed it. It's had some things I didn't like, but I felt this book was definitely a lot better than the previous two. Like the previous two were not good. This is starting to become a lot better now. So I am hoping that the later books do get better in the series, and maybe I'll end up liking this. So I don't want um, I don't want, like, if a series starts out bad, I don't want it to basically just it all suck. I'm hoping that maybe there might be something good, so I find something enjoyment to read out of it. But we can't like everything. So all right, that's it for the review today. Hope you all enjoyed it. And for the next book in the Dark Tower series, Wizard and Glass. This is a thick one. This is 699 pages long, so this is like the second thickest book in the series. The third thickest book is Wolves of Kala, and then the actual biggest book in the series is the last book, the Dark Tower. I don't know if I'm going to get that far or not. It all depends if I like the later books or not, but I will be reading much as I can because I do not want this book to be taking too long, as approaching the last month of 2023, and I want to get the series wrapped up and get some other books that I would like to read before this month is over, before this year is over, I mean. So I read much as I can. This is going to probably take me a while to get through. I'm going to try to read 100 pages twice a day because that's the only way I can get through this brick. So I've been told by many fans that this is their favorite of the series, Wizard of Glass, and I heard some people say that the Wastelands was their favorite. So I will see what I think of it when I go to read it. Alright, if you enjoyed this review, please like it, share it. No, please don't forget to subscribe to October Library, the YouTube channel, and the Facebook group of the same name. Please support your review of fiction. Until then, I'll catch you later.